So, I'm a holistic health coach that's been trained for a few years now, and I was just diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And I say it like that. I guess I preface it that way for two reasons. One, because I think it speaks to how healers and people who want to help others normally go through a period of challenge, whether it's with their health or something else, before they try to take on that challenge and then use their knowledge to help others. I think a lot of healers were broken before. If you know anything about Chiron, Chiron is the wounded healer. And I can kind of relate to that a little bit because, yes, I've been through things. Life has dealt me some hard lessons, circumstances, but I've always tried to use what I learn to help other people, and also motivate that also was my motivation when I became a holistic health coach or wellness practitioner, as well as a birth doula when I was certified back in 2018, just out of a sheer desire to help other people. And then, secondly, I feel like it speaks to the fact that you can know all the information and you can feel like you're doing everything right, and your body can still be keeping score of things that you maybe haven't addressed or that you still need to address. And that's been a real awakening for me because I pride myself on knowing all things wellness. And the reality check is that knowing these things versus implementing them is two different things. And I have to be real about where my focus has been and how I may have been distracting myself from the main things that I need to focus on, which is addressing my emotion, releasing them from my body through somatic healing. I speak a lot about that on my channel, but now I'm about to just take it up another notch because I think that's what's going to help me a lot on this journey to reverse my diagnosis because I don't speak any disease over myself. It is great to know where I stand in terms of my blood work, and it's been great to work with Joy and Bloke, which is the telehealth clinic that I'm working with, to get my health in order. But yeah, I want to dive into that a little bit today because it's on the top of my mind. I got my blood work. I had it the end of July, so it's the middle of August now. And I had told you guys that I was starting a thyroid medication if you watch my vlogs, but basically, I had initially had a PCOS diagnosis back in 2018 also, and knew that all along that there were hormonal imbalances that were happening. And PCOS, or PMOS as it's now termed, goes hand in hand with Hashimoto's thyroiditis a lot of times. What I'm really focusing on is inflammation in my body and my digestive health. So I think that also speaks to a lot of things because I like to get deep. I like to go below the surface. Obviously, if you're not new here, then you know that already. But as far as the root cause, and I feel like I've known that I've had digestive issues or inflammation, but I didn't know where it was coming from. And it was confirmed that it's most likely my gut. Now, PCOS comes with insulin resistance a lot of times, but my health practitioner told me that my insulin resistance really isn't that bad. It's just my absorption because my iron is low, even though I've taken iron supplements, it's just not being absorbed because my gut lining is so impacted. And so spiritually to me, it makes me think about things in life that I am not digesting well or have not digested well in the past. And what's coming up for me is really just a lot of grief. I don't think that I can say that I've processed things, but when it comes down to really having a moment where you give yourself permission to grieve the life that you thought you would have. I lost my dad in 2022 very unexpectedly and almost like wrecked me. I would say it did wreck me. It was a deep, deep time of just emotion and obviously loss, but I came out on the other side, I guess, in terms of starting a new chapter with my dad, of him being in heaven, but processing what occurred in my family after that. I didn't have the capacity, I would tell people like I have to keep going because if I stop and really take time for my emotions, I don't know if I'll be able to recover fully. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard my mom say that before, and that brings me to a few things. My mom also has gut issues. A lot of my family members do have had stomach and digestive issues. My paternal grandmother, my paternal grandfather, and here I am, basically the one who is gonna heal it for my generation. That's my goal. I know I'll need to eliminate gluten first and foremost, but I really want to just set the tone and feel like I'm not going to pass down this to my kids when I've been working on this family planning process or getting started with it. And a lot of us don't really think about the health and how what our genetic makeup and our current health status gets passed directly down to our children. And my practitioner even mentioned that because I did express that I'm trying to get in better shape so that I can start the journey of becoming a mother and improve my fertility before we even get into that process. And a lot of that comes with healing things that my family has dealt with for generations. I have family members who have had hysterectomies and had irregular cycles and hormonal imbalances that they didn't have the words for. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to have the words for this season of my life and have the resources and the financial ability to be able to get the blood work done, get the medication I need, and to feel better. So, this is a new, I don't want to say a new journey, but maybe a new chapter of me diligently removing gluten from my diet, but also on a spiritual level of me really going there with myself and using all of the practices and routines that I've gained over the past almost 10 years. I'd say 8 years since I was diagnosed with PCOS. I've been on a journey to balance my hormones, learn more about my body, feel safe in my body. And I think this is just going to be the next level of that journey. So, here's some of the things I'll be sitting with while I embark on this next chapter. Really, just how I became chronically stressed and reflecting on how I saw a lot of family members who were perpetually overstimulated. I think a lot of us millennials were raised by busy parents. And I think if you have kids and you're a millennial, we're raising them even more busy and overstimulated because we have social media now. So, taking a step back to think about how I've always, felt like I've been chasing another milestone ever since graduating high school and just being that eldest daughter, it is literally a mind fuck. You can be in a mental prison of just like this identity of being a good daughter. And boy, oh boy, I didn't realize how deep it goes in terms of changing your mental patterns to live for yourself and to satisfy yourself and to not feel like you have to prove something to the point where you burn yourself out or you always have to be achieving to be that good person or responsible person that you were taught to be. I would push through exhaustion. I know we all have to get through college, but even after that, it was just like, you got to make money, girl. You got to get it out here on your own. There isn't a time to rest. And while that is true, I could have made more time to rest instead of overstimulating myself with busy work to feel like again I'm feeling a expectation of pushing through. Have had support and I haven't asked for help. And that's the thing. I'm forcing myself to ask for help. Even when it comes to in my relationship around the house, I've started to do that more because I am used to carrying it all. Just from childhood, but also falling into roles in a relationship. Especially my wife worked outside of the house. So I felt responsible for taking care of more things. And thankfully that has switched. She's not out of the house as much now. And I've been asking for help and I've been reminding myself that I can't do it all. And I'm just going to continue to do that too. Because, girl, I don't know about you, but my body is not really familiar with relaxation. And I hate to say that at 30 years old. I have hobbies. I've taught myself to crochet. I like to work out, go for walks. I love to read, and I've started to read more this year. I'm on book 14 or 15 for the year, and which is a growth from last year. I think I read maybe 9 books. but I still don't really relax how I should. And I don't want to start a family on that note. I don't want to start a family with habits like not being able to rest. And my wife, she really is my biggest teacher in a lot of ways because she was born and raised in a family where they were allowed to rest, and she loves sleep even though she's an eldest daughter as well. She gets her rest, okay? And I admire that about her. So teaching myself that and practicing it more, putting it in practice, saying, okay, I'm going to record my videos these days, but I'm going to make time to also rest and put my phone down and not be in a constant stimulation because it's become so normal. And that's another practice, meditation. I have been meditating since 2015, 20 years old, new spiritual baby, reading Eckhart Tolle, really just kind of trying to dive into who am I, and it helped me get to where I am now, and I just need to return to that practice. And I encourage you to also do that if you're feeling overstimulated or feeling like you need to take a break from your phone. Yeah. I also want to know, where are the other eldest daughters at, y'all? Please comment below because we're in this together. Just healing that wound, honestly, of being everything for everyone except for ourselves. And I really feel like turning 30 in November really lit a fire under my ass. Something in my brain changed, and I'm like, no, these habits are changing, this mental place, or I guess mental patterns, just limiting beliefs. They don't have a place here anymore. They don't have a home here anymore. We're evicting them. Gotta go immediately. No more people pleasing. I quit my job last year without a backup plan, and I am in the best place I've been in my life, despite my current health. I don't want to say challenges, but just where I am health wise, I feel the most like myself than I have ever. And so that's life. It's ups and downs, it's highs and lows simultaneously. But I'm proud of myself for taking that leap of faith last year and manifesting really what I needed, which was a stable job with a salary, working from home that still allows me time to focus on my passions. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been really working on this year, is betting on myself. So I think I'm done yapping. If you are ready to cut out the self sabotage, drop a white heart in the comments and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you come back for more, honey, because there will be lots more. If you have any topics that you'd like me to touch on, feel free to drop those in the comments too. And yeah, thanks for listening to me rant and yap. And I hope that something I said helped you if you are navigating health challenges. Really give yourself the space to go deep. Use the resources you have. I have journal prompts that help me all the time go deep, and those can be found in my bio. I'm gonna put it in the description too. But I'm revamping my website, so look out for that. I think I'm gonna move over to Stand Store again, just because I like the platform a little better. And Squarespace up their subscription prices, not mine personally, but I'm not with platforms doing that to creators. So back to Stand Store it is. But just DM me or comment below if you ever have a question about where to find those resources. I have journal prompts, I have a stress management ebook, and stay tuned for what's next because I really think it's going to be great. I'm not going to speak too much on it because I just need to get to work. But thanks again for tuning in and being here, and I'll see you soon. Peace. Audio Jungle.